In a bid to strengthen efforts to combat malnutrition across Nigeria, the federal government has urged state governments to increase their budgetary allocations towards improving nutrition in their respective regions. This directive was issued by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, who also serves as the chairman of the National Committee on Food and Nutrition at the 2024 Nutrition Consultative Forum, titled Addressing Coordination Bottlenecks in Nigeria for Improved Nutrition Outcomes. Benedict Uku has more.
According to a report from UNICEF, Nigeria faces a severe child malnutrition crisis, ranking first in Africa and second globally in terms of the number of malnourished children under the age of 5. As the country struggles with the impacts of inflation and food insecurity, stakeholders at the Nutrition Consultative Forum in Abuja are calling for urgent action to tackle Nigeria's child malnutrition crisis. The Managing Director, Nigeria Health Watch, Vivian Ihe-Krazu, emphasized the urgent need for a coordinated, multi-sectoral approach to tackle the growing challenge of food affordability and malnutrition in the country.
So there's a bigger effort that really needs to be addressed to ensure that food prices are affordable to Nigerian families, but it does go beyond the responsibility of one single ministry. It has to be a multi-sectoral response, looking at agriculture, financing farmers, looking at Ministry of Health and how do they support in improving nutritional outcomes, and also at the individual household level. How do families in their own sense make those difficult decisions but are able to buy nutritious foods that are able to feed their families? Not just at the federal level, but also at the state level, that with better coordination, we're able to hopefully improve our nutritional outcomes, because we don't see those improvements despite the amount of investment that has been placed in nutrition.
The Technical Assistant on Nutrition from the Office of the Vice President, Dr. Fatima Zuntu, along with the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, highlighted federal interventions and the critical need for subnational governments to make adequate budgetary provisions for nutrition programs in their 2025 budgets.
Best feeding program, which is domiciled in the Ministry of Health, has been ongoing for some time, and government has also run that program to successful completion that also addresses the issue of malnutrition from that infant stage, and then rolling out the programs of feeding and then providing adequate access to food and food security will also contribute to the fact that if people have access to good nutritional components in the food and value chain, they will also overcome this particular challenge, as it were. So the government is still fully committed to it, and it's not shying away from the responsibilities at all.
National to the subnational level, at the state level, at the LGA, everybody has a role to play, right? So from the national level, even including the lawmakers, we need to review our policies to see how we can make, nutrition better for the common man. When you get to the state level, the state government or the state governors need to also review their policies. They need to allocate more budget, which is in fact, it's one of the major constraints in tackling malnutrition.
The Chief of Nutrition, UNICEF Nigeria, Nemat Hajboy, while lamenting high figures, called for an all-of-society approach to focus efforts on pregnant women and young children under 5.
To focus our efforts on pregnant women and young children under 5. And what we need to do for that age group is to scale up what we call evidence-based interventions, such as breastfeeding, complementary feeding, supplementation for pregnant women, and make sure that all of those interventions reach 70–80% of the population. Only if we do that, only if we come together and collectively do that, we will, if we don't do that, we won't see change. If we do that, we will see change. And
the federal government's call for increased state-level budgetary allocations for nutrition aligns with its efforts to foster a coordinated approach to addressing the issue of malnutrition in the country.